Alright, what's up everybody? I'm back with another video. A few hours ago, 3 hours ago, there was a Xbox Live, Inside Xbox live stream. So I'm gonna display my thoughts on it. My overall thoughts, I'll just say it right away. I was a little bit disappointed as such. There was really nothing that was given inside there. There were a few interesting games, I will admit, that were shown, but overall, the entire thing was a little disappointing, and that also has to do with the fact that there was no gameplay actually shown for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And that was kind of one of the main points of going into a live stream, because we were going to get to see gameplay for the game. But we didn't receive that, so that was really disappointing. And I mean, on the likes to dislike, it's already half and half on YouTube, so that already says the reaction of the community as such. So, let's just start off with what games they presented. One of them was like this, like, I forgot what it was called. The first game was like this thing, Infinite. It was the one they started off with, Metro something. In fact, I can't even remember the name. It was an interesting game. I mean, they showed gameplay, so it looks nice and stuff, though. So I would imagine it looks like a really fun first-person shooter. I think I would get it once the Xbox Series X comes out. I mean, this whole thing was basically all the new IPs coming out. Nothing really new. It's really nice that some of them are actually taking advantage of the smart delivery program by Microsoft. That's really nice that there are games that are doing that. Alright, on to the next game that was on there. It was Dirt 5. Yeah, it's a racing game. I'm guessing from what I saw, I guess it's like first person from what I could perceive as gameplay. Honestly, I get annoyed when there are trailers that just decide not to show gameplay. Like, if it's the first reveal, if it's a cinematic, that's alright. But if it's, like, afterwards, then no gameplay. At least give me something that can let me make sense of what's going on. I mean, I guess Dirt 5 is just like another standard racing game. Nothing that has to be a must-buy or anything. Unless you're into the racing genre as such. Next game I think was like Scorn. Yeah, so Scorn, it was just a cinematic. Apparently got announced way back in 2016. So now it's being released, I guess, for Xbox Series X. I mean, cinematic was, I guess, okay, interesting, nothing too out of there. Also a little bit weird. I do have to admit it just looked a little off at some point. I mean, that's all my thoughts. I don't really have much, because I don't really have much to go off. Or it was just a cinematic, so I can't really give my thoughts. I'd like to see more of it, just know what it plays like, what is the goal for it. And the next one was like Corvus, something like that. It was by Fish Labs. It was like this like space simulator, like space combat. So Fish Labs games, I know the studio themselves, that they're known for the Galaxy on Fire series. I played Galaxy on Fire 2 and 3, and I enjoyed those games very much. The Galaxy on Fire Alliances was like this MMO. I didn't play that, but I heard a lot of people like that game as such, and they got upset when they closed the servers. But I mean, they know how to do space combat as such. So I mean, I'm not gonna worry if the game's gonna be bad or not. I will put in faith that when the game comes out, it's gonna be good. Am I gonna get it? No, I'm just saying that what they're gonna give out is probably something good, because the Galaxy on Fire series was space simulation. I think they're also doing, I guess, also third person shooter as well, something like that. Combining that, I don't know really. I wasn't seeing gameplay, but except for the space simulation part, that was the only thing I can see. So I could guess it's going to be mostly primarily focused on the Star Fox like space combat. Continuing on, what else was there? And these are all new IPs, so it's not really memorable or anything. There was that like one game. There was like that. Oh yeah, the medium. That I remember that. The medium. What that game is? It's like this new IP that um, it's like I don't know even know what it is. All I saw was cinematic. I guess the game is really religiously like it has a emphasis on religion because like you could see like there's this woman who was like in the church and stuff, and so I guess this game has a lot to do with religion and stuff. So I mean that's what I can really perceive from it. That's it. Personally, would I want to buy the game or no? I don't know. Like all of these are games that are presented as I said before. I have to see the gameplay in order to know if I want to get it or not. Continuing on, what else was there? Why is this so hard to remember what was in the live stream? There was this one game that was like a sea call to the sea, and I mean it was a cinematic. That was it. It has the art style of like what was that other game that's out there? Like it was a pirate game that's out there. Sea of Thieves, that was what I was going for. Yeah, it has that sort of similar art style, so I'm not interested in it. And then we have this like cyberpunk style game coming out. It was like Artro something. I don't even remember these names at this point. I'm not even gonna try. And that game actually looked really nice. I mean, it showed gameplay. It's like the gameplay like of like a Diablo. What was that? Other. Its gameplay is basically like Diablo. I would just say therefore it's a third person. I guess like asymmetrical. If that's the keyword. Shooter. It's linear gameplay. So yeah, you move character around a bit. It has a cyberpunk theme into it, which I'm pretty sure they're just copying off of Cyberpunk 27. Like, once Cyberpunk 2077 comes out, it's gonna just basically make every single game studio immediately go after making a game in the cyberpunk genre. We're gonna get like oversaturation in the cyberpunk genre. I believe it to be so. It's gonna happen. Oversaturation. Just like how there was an oversaturation in militaristic first person shooters, there's going to be oversaturation in cyberpunk. Because, yeah, it's just going to end up that way. We already have this other cyberpunk game coming around, and who knows? Now I think my memory's clearing up. There was this, let me just pal back a second. So, back to that cyberpunk game, the one that starts with an A. Uh, Looks interesting. Will I want to get? Maybe. I'll just wait to see more of it. The gameplay is interesting, though. I mean, I'm not into it really that much, but I like to try new stuff, so I might give it a try. Going on over to next game was like this After Earth scenario sort of thing. Not After Earth the movie. Of course, it's a terrible movie. We're not talking about that. This was like an After Earth scenario. Like say you're basically trying to survive. Um, it looks I guess interesting. There was gameplay, but I'm not into the survival genre as such. And yeah, I'm not gonna give it a try anytime soon. I've played a few survival games, and it gets repetitive after, but it's just not my type of genre I like to play at some points. Um, then there was like this vampires one. Looks interesting enough, but no, I'm not gonna play it. All we got was a cinematic, no gameplay. Yeah, it's just a cinematic as usual, and vampires apparently has its like audience, has a fan base, so it's gonna appeal to people. So If any of you are fans of Fire Empires, just keep a lookout on this game. Alright, moving on. I can't even remember any of the rest of the games at this point, so I'm just gonna now move over to the main stop of the entire Inside Xbox thing. We were all here for this one game, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They promised us gameplay. They only gave us a cinematic, and that's just what angers me a lot. It's when like this company just decides, it tells you one thing, hey, we're gonna give you this, but decides to give you something else. It's like the same thing they did with Fallout 76, except we're just moaning about a trailer. And the thing is, I want to know how it plays like. I mean, I'm intrigued by this new Assassin's Creed. Apparently, it's supposed to go back to like the era of like their older Assassin's Creed game, where it was more an emphasis on the assassin part before they started doing, Assassin's Creed Origins and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where they did what's it called? They were doing basically story driven, like setting type games instead of the actual Assassins thing. So this Assassin's Creed Valhalla is supposed to go back to it, though I don't know how will it do that since it's Vikings. I don't really know how you can make assassins out of Vikings. I guess they will figure out a way to do it. I mean, they figured out a way to put assassins in any sort of scenario, so they should be able to figure out a way to do it in this one, surely. So, but I haven't seen gameplay, so I'm sort of losing hope on that actual narrative. In my opinion, I think that this game isn't going to be Assassin's focused, even if people are saying it is. In my opinion, I think it's going to be just like Odyssey, just like Origins, where it's just like a narrative. It's just your character in the setting, which isn't bad by any means. It's just an open world where you play as a Viking, not like as an assassin. You don't have the assassin gameplay. And I mean, that's fine, but like when the brand is called Assassin's Creed, you would expect you're playing as an assassin. Here you're playing as a Viking, which also goes by how you define assassins. So, and yeah, that was just a disappointing Inside Xbox. And I would love to see more than just this. Maybe gameplay for their like new Halo Infinite, just gameplay of that for the first parties. There were no first party shown in this Inside Xbox, which is a little concerning. I know this whole situation that's going around the world, it's harming a lot of stuff. It's slowing down business as such, so we shouldn't be expecting too much, but at the very least, like, Halo Infinite was announced like last year, back in E3 2019. I would have expected at least some sort of gameplay, at least implemented. I wish, because like this conference as such, it feels like and we're nearing Xbox's E3. We're nearing that E3 timeline, so these Inside Xbox live streams, they're gonna be basically our E3 of Microsoft for 2020. They're gonna be our E3, so they just need to start pushing more through. They need to start like showing more games, their first party offerings more. They just need to show more of it. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was disappointed. There's nothing much to say else about it. In that case, for anyone else, if you're ever wondering if I'm gonna release a review of Star Wars as my content on this channel, my last two videos were about Star Wars. I am gonna release a review tomorrow of the entire Star Wars The Clone Wars and talk about it more in depth. It will be mostly positive stuff about it. Because, I mean, of course, everyone loved it. You would have expected by now. Yeah, I love it as well. So, it will be a positive review. I'll talk more in depth in the actual video about it. So, anyways, stay safe and goodbye.